Oh, shit. Oh, snap. It's all spiritual. You bet it is. What's going on in 2020? What's going on? We're about to hit the second half of the year of 2020, and right now we are seeing so many things happening right now. It is good time to be alive. Yes, it is. Orange juice. Anyways, okay, on a serious note, what's going on? So, there's a lot of mentors I follow, I keep up with, and a lot of them will tell you, and the same thing, it doesn't take a mentor for you to realize, but you'll realize that people are waking up. People have had it. People just have had it. So this is what's happening. All right. Some people are like, oh, but it shouldn't go this way. It should go however it is meant to go. Okay. Because if those who are in power can't see, for example, how their abuse of power has created a emotional, psychological dent in the masses, then it should be no surprise to see what people are doing. I love how one of the other mentors mentioned it. He said, oh, we're worried about looters when we live in a world that was looted from colonists. All right. They looted the natives, they looted and they tried to loot the freedoms and the free rights of every individual, including the animals. All right. Including the animals. It's all included. So it's no surprise that you see all of this happening. It's no surprise that you have all kinds of people showing up and all kinds of energies being expressed. It should be no surprise. All right. What, if anything, those who are in certain government positions, which, by the way, were selected by us, the people, if anything, people in those positions should be looking for ways to actually mend, all right, to make amends to those damages, all right, instead of actually trying to put more rules, regulations, and controls. Because let me tell you this, those who just continue to try to suppress people and amass and of naturally free people are shooting themselves in the foot, are doing the actions that they do towards others, they're doing towards themselves. By the time they realize what's happening, by the time they wake up to the new world, all right, where love has reigned supreme and freedom has reigned supreme, and that old system of control is done, okay, by the time they wake up to that and they realize what kind of world there is and how the infinity actually has stepped in, has always been here, these are the same people who are going to wish they were dead. You know, they're going to wish they were dead, and they may even try to kill themselves, maybe. They may even try to hurt themselves because they want out, because they lost the illusion that they so cling on to. The illusion of my city, my country, my territory, my this, my that, you know, that whole power trip. They'll lose that, and then they will have forgotten temporarily, for some of them, they will have forgotten how to live with the natural world. The natural world, when I mean the natural world, I mean it's real easy to plant, right? Seeds, to make gardens, food, right? Now, how does this affect the economy? Again, I've mentioned this in a previous video. I mentioned this in the previous video, which if you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's called Economies versus Necessities. All right. And so I recommend watching that video because in that video, I talk about the kind of economies or societies that are going to be showing up, that are showing up right now. As a matter of fact, there's happening right now with you and me. All right. I'm on this. All right. I'm on this video. I'm on this video. All right. And people are learning how to make their own businesses online. All right. Where money is, look, where money is no longer something to control people. Where money is no longer something that's going to control people. Where money is no longer something that's going to limit people and what is natural. These dogs are funny. So if you haven't watched that video, Economies versus Necessities, all right, you two, in or out? What the heck? They're funny. Economies versus Necessities, all right? If you haven't watched it, go and watch it. Because as I mentioned, all right, that's where we're heading to. That's how money is going to be used. All right, that's how money is starting to be used now. It's starting, oh, snap. Well, thank you. It's starting to be used for extra things. Okay. Look at these two. Hold on. This is great. Sparky showing off his strength. They're so funny. So if you haven't watched that video, you like that? You like that? I hope you guys like that. I hope that brought you some joy. All right. So if you haven't watched that video, go ahead and definitely watch that video. Okay. We got the moon out too. And if you guys haven't noticed, all right, it's a new moon. And really what this means is we got this new moon going on. And obviously the water in everyone's body is feeling a little more, you could say, energized. All right. So people's emotions are really through the roof, and it's rightfully so. Rightfully so. All right. Now, what can people do? All right. Does this mean we got to exchange fire? You see, you have to understand that the biggest battle is not a physical. The biggest battle is happening on a domain that's internal. It's on a spiritual plane. It's spiritual warfare. How does it manifest itself in the real world? You see it on the news. You see it on what in the old system, the now crumbling system. All right. You see it with how people have been, the word is indoctrinated. All right. To think certain ways, to be slaves towards other people instead of just focusing on their own lives. All right. The educational system, the universities, the news. There's a lot of those things have misinformed so many people. And thanks to what we have nowadays with this, you could say with the internet, all right, people are way more connected. People are way more awake, and we are actually communicating with each other, letting people know what's actually going on versus what is being told to us. This is why I like how Infinite Water says it. This is why we kind of tend to stay away from television, because it tells lies to your vision. Unless, of course, you're someone who likes watching movies and shit, then you know what? Fuck, go ahead. But that's what's going on. This is a great awakening is what's happening, all right? People will argue, oh, you know, what's with the looting and all that other stuff? What's with the force on? Do we need force on force? For some, if that's what they feel, that's what they feel. For others, maybe what they need is a defense force, a way to defend, right? Because there are those who are like, well, I'm not the kind of attacking person. That's cool. Many people don't want to. Of course, you see a lot of authoritarian figures are so trigger happy, but some of them aren't. So there's hope on that side too. All right. But basically, long story short, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm saying, look at this. That is beautiful. But basically, long story short, what I'm saying is what's happening is what has needed to happen. All right. And this is only the beginning. And it's the beginning of something new and something great. Trust me. I don't watch TV, but I was around family and they were watching it, and I was seeing and I was looking at both, you know, all people, ones dressed in black, and the ones, in other words, the blue, all right, the reds, whatever. I was seeing all of the sides of the equation, and there was a good show of self-control. and that's good, right? But at the same time, it's over. It's system failure, all right? It's no longer the same thing. It's completely different, all right? Our economies are going to be different. The world is going to be different. It's going to be much more free and much more prosperous. Trust and believe that, because it will be. But of course, all of this has to happen in the meantime. This has to happen. So for those who are protesting, I say, hey, just make sure you get yourself some good armor, all right, to defend yourselves against any idiots. All right, make sure you guys stay in communication so you can point out those who are basically trying to antagonize, whether it be from the opposite, those who are, authoritarian figures, or whether it be within your own groups. Okay, make sure you pay attention to who those people are, because those are people who are mad, all right? And sometimes they don't even know what they're mad about. Or they're mad, they know what they're mad about, but don't know how to channel it, don't know how to transmute it. And that's what we want to do. We want to transmute it. We want to transmute that energy. So, yes, go protest, all right? Go. Do not feed into the old system anymore. And be wise. Pay attention to how things are said. Manipulation of words is always, it's like has been a thing in this world, in this part of the world, where certain people of quote unquote power, manipulate words so that they can push an agenda, right? All of this was divinely written. It had to happen. It's going to keep happening. But what is at the end of this tunnel is such a beautiful new world that by the time everybody gets on it, from the authoritarian figures, quote unquote, to the regular people, to those who feel life is unfair and all this other, or those who have suffered, by the time we all realize this, we're going to look back and be like, damn, why didn't we think about it earlier? Again, go watch Economies versus Necessities. All right. I took time to put some artwork on that thing, okay? And it's getting dark. But go watch Economies versus Necessities. Watch that video, because I put that out there so that that's a pretty big idea, but it's very possible. And it was inspired by a lot of video games, okay? And it can be that way. It can totally be that way. If we're going to make, for example, Trump, okay? If we're going to make America great, or we're going to keep America great, then let's keep America great in the sense that we are the best at being free. We are the best at honoring each other's, uniqueness, individuality. We don't try to suppress, oppress, or control others. And this is on for people in all sides of the spectrum. This applies for regular people. This applies, as a matter of fact, those who are quote unquote authoritarian are regular people too. So this applies to everybody. This applies to everybody, and we have to be able to bring that out. Okay, we have to bring that out within ourselves. We have to work on ourselves, be involved in constant self-mastery, meditate some more. Yes, there is power when you meditate. There is power when you get into that void, that nothingness that's also somethingness. Okay, and you start to step into the infinity, and you realize that the infinity, if it's within you, that means it is within here right now in this plane we call the three-dimensional plane, which in itself is also elevating, because everything has to ascend anyways. So throughout this process of ascension, we're seeing all of these breakouts, we're seeing these things, and you have to keep things in mind. Listen to your guts more. Try fasting one day. Just drink water and maybe some smoothies, some good acai smoothie, all right, or another fruit smoothie, and just do that. Go on a liquid fast for one day. All right. If you're someone who your religious and spiritual practices involve different herbs, definitely combine that with the fasting. See and definitely meditate and see what you find. Again, go watch Economies versus Necessities. Watch Economies versus Necessities. I'm telling you guys, watch that video. And when you watch that video, and by the time everybody gets on board with it, we're all gonna be like, dang, that sounds like fun. Oh my gosh. Whoa, imagine what else we could do. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Re- oh man, hold on. Look at that move. All right. So go watch Economies versus Necessities. Watch Economies versus Necessity. Well, hey, if you're watching, that's good. All right. Plus, I get other people who watch on my other channels anyways, so I'm like, I'm all good anyways. It's all good. Anyways, so definitely go watch Economies versus Necessities. All right, watch that video, and if you guys have that knowledge, if you have the, in other words, if you have the inspiration to build upon that, go right ahead. Go right ahead, share that, build upon it, because again, by the time we all realize this, we're gonna be like, wow, we should have done this earlier. But hey, better late than never, right? So, if you guys like this, definitely share it, spread the message, go watch that video, all right? And continue to involve yourselves in day-to-day personal mastery, okay? All right, there's a lot of energy spiking. We got the moon, all right? So there's definitely going to be a lot of spikes in energy, but you know, this is all good. So all you have to do is just be a little more self-responsible with your own energies, and it'll be smooth sailing from there. Let's just put it that way. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Feel free to share. Feel free to subscribe. And go check out that video. Namaste.